Queen Anacostia. Don't mess, girl. You playing checkers. She playing chess. Hey guys, it's your girl Alicia, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're back with another reaction to Motherland, Fort Salem. We're now on to episode 2 of season 2, which is called Abomination. We're definitely starting to stir things up for the second season, and I'm liking that we started off with a bit of a bang. So I'm ready to get into this episode, but before we do, you know the drill. If you have been here before and you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That way you can be notified when I do more reactions to this show and others that are very much like it. So hopefully you will join the family. We would love to have you. All right, that out of the way, guys. Let's jump into the episode right about now. Screaming in a box. That's what I do on the weekends. No one else? Just me? Okay.
Soldiers, I want to thank you for your patience and cooperation, but we're suspending these tests.
We can keep going, ma'am.
For now.
I like that. She's like, wait a minute. Maybe you can go, Abby, but my throat hurts.
General.
Her. Is that what? So something that was reaching out. I thought it was mirroring Raelle, but there's something in there? Who's gonna tell her that that's not the way you play foosball?
Don't you want to understand what happened? Yes, of course I do, but I'd rather we figure it out ourselves than have Isadora poking and prodding us.
Thank you. She wasn't there the first time it happened.
Anymore. Guys, apparently there are a lot of rumors going around about the three of us.
You think? Y'all been in the center of a lot of stuff the last couple of years. Like, come on.
The wife, she seems lonely. I think she can use a friend.
Be careful. Don't lose sight of the mission.
Again.
And what can happen when you get too close.
I knew that was coming. She's like, we all know that you sometimes get a little distracted about the females on the mission, so if you could just focus.
Together as a coven, but on most days you'll be following your individual specializations. Once you finish dealing with your super cool hair, of course. Fear not.
Someone's jealous. No one asked you to shave yours, girl.
Bedrooms.
Yikes!
Why? Your reputation precedes you.
This doesn't actually matter. Can we go back to the eyes that were still alive in that decapitated head?
It did. It still does.
So it's connected to her?
I'm not that much secrets.
Apparently not. You're just creating weird kind of copy clones that are made of like, what even is that? Mushrooms? What?
You must be constantly seeking the truth, no matter where it leads you.
Oh my gosh. Tally. She's so broken right now. I love the way it's like, this was literally speaking with a woman's voice 20 minutes ago. Let's cut it open. Burn it with fire. This is the only logical... Okay.
Raelle is the only person who touched the mycelium and walked away more or less unscathed. They're still connected somehow.
Mycelia. Oh, she looks jealous. She's like, I've touched that thing several times. This never left anything but a really bad rash. So this is one that you actually did, eh? She should go back. She should see all the pain that she caused in the name of a cause. This is the issue with revenge, right? No one really actually gets any better. Like, you've just caused more people to have suffering like you, which gets to what? You suffer more. Like,
victims of this war are not witches, but decent, God-fearing Americans.
Well, I don't know about the decent or God-fearing part, but Americans nonetheless.
And there's this hollow ache inside me where there used to be.
She's like, how do I hide my face without looking like I'm actually hiding my face?
And I wonder, does she feel remorse?
I love these mind games.
Thinking about what she did, is there anything human left in her?
That's right. Prick her. Prick that conscience if it's there. Queen Anacostia. Don't mess, girl. You playing checkers. She playing chess.
I'm Amelia. Your
Sure.
was so moving.
This came from a real place.
Thank you. Bit overwhelming. Does anyone else need a drink?
Definitely.
Why did the wife look like, but you're an alcoholic? Sup, lover? Feel like some earthquaking later?
But rite of proxy is the closest. It's a tradition that's fallen out of favor in recent times.
There's always a teacher who's like this, who's just like so passionate about something that everyone else is like,
Which I personally think is
okay.
Hello, General Alder. Kalita.
That's right. She's like, I'm still a leader.
Discussing.
You know, trapped in a 13-year-old's body, but a leader nonetheless. I like Kalita. I like that she's putting Alder in her place and she doesn't even have like a full set of vocal cords yet.
The Camarilla have found a way to replicate our work using technology powered by the stolen vocal cords of witches. It's an abomination.
Abomination!
I'm glad you're making friends, though. Maybe that'll give you another reason to stay.
You know, you should know, Abby, that it's not easy to choose between duty and your heart. I mean, not everybody's a born and bred army brat like you.
There are sounds all around us at all times, both above and below the range of our hearing. And all sorts of nastiness can be layered into those sounds.
As the spree's been teaching us.
Has the army ever used this sort of work in combat?
No. This is the domain of our enemies.
Lies. Lie number one. Wow. I need that bell. Sorry. I bet you all the people in that room thought they was bad until that woman literally rung a bell.
It's an exercise.
What, so we have to find a way out?
No.
Escape
I
room.
think so.
Look for clues. What do the clocks mean? Interesting. I wonder if this off-canon stuff is like just literally like witchcraft that's not known by Alder because it's magic.
The movement has been a bit of a boys' club. You know what I mean?
Never complained before.
Calm down, sir.
Oh, I'm
Put it back in your pants.
complaining.
I'm wondering if maybe this new group don't like girls at all. Like, they probably don't trust women, period. Which, considering what the spree's done, valid, but... Okay, that's a nightmare. The way y'all are fighting literal sacks of, like, cotton. Homie's like, hey, dolls!
No one has ever been to the dollhouse on their first try before.
Thank you.
I could see it. We were here the whole time.
Well done.
Why are you smiling? You didn't do anything.
Where's Abigail and Rael?
The escape room continues for them. Sorry, you've passed the game. Oh, because they're trying to get them to do the scream. Got it.
That you ruined. Years of my life that you stole!
It was an extreme situation that triggered it last time, so we gotta go back to life and death again. The mycelium said not today. We like this host.
The phenomenon comes from Rael, and Rael alone.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Thank you for approving the test. It was a risk worth taking.
Oh, okay. Because, you know, you don't care about killing people's kids. We already know that.
Well, bellwethers are nothing if not ambitious.
Screw you.
So
At this point, the only people I trust are you two.
what does it feel like when it goes off?
This time it felt like me wanting to kill Isadora.
What happens next?
I become a lab rat. Shock.
You okay?
Not really.
I'm gonna go back to the room.
Poor Abby. She really did think she was part of it, and to find out now that she's not.
Stay the course.
But be careful. She's Army. You can never really trust them.
Says the former Army person. Like, what? If he was affected, that means other people could too.
And I don't want you to get hurt. But you have to understand that this is not a permanent situation. In the end, my brother will always choose his people.
Yep. It's true. If Adil asked you to leave the military, you'd think that was an impossible choice, so you can't get on him for having issues here.
A lot of people feel that way about her. I didn't always trust her myself.
But now I'm obsessed.
There's something wrong with this photo.
Yeah, that girl who did all the, yeah, I bet you the girl you saw in your vision's gone. You know who it is.
It's her. She's real.
This girl's like, I thought we were on a tour. I didn't think you had lost your mind. And look at the way she's looking at Alder. You see the way she's looking at Alder? I'm telling you, I want Alder to redeem herself. I do, but it's not going well for her so far. And I feel like they just keep dropping these little hints. Anyhow, guys, that was episode 2 called Abomination. And how very interesting. We have some questions answered from season 1, which I'm very happy to see. Namely, what's going on with the fact that Raelle touched what they're calling the mycelium. We don't know if that's a good or a bad thing at this point. It looks like for the most part, Raelle is still in control of herself, control of what she's doing, but we just don't know. We don't know anything about this mycelium. We just noticed, I noticed anyways, that Alder referred to it as a she and said, I'm always awed in its presence. When did they find this? How did they find this? Are they actually containing it? Did they build the college around it to protect it? I have so many questions around what it is and why only Alder, Isadora, and maybe a handful of other people in that lab even know that it exists. I like that we're getting some more answers around what this thing is and really that it's what protected them against the disease and that it is able to somehow channel itself or spread, I guess you could say. What was it that Isadora said? That it overtook someone or something like that? Like basically that it took control of this body even though it was halfway across the world. But obviously we know it's because Raelle sprayed whatever that was in her little explosion in that whole area. But that also makes me think that anybody else who potentially touches that ground or touches those bodies, like what if this thing is actually, I would love it if the mycelium is actually like some deep ancient enemy and like, but Alder just thinks that like it's some kind of toy she can learn how to control, but really it's like an ancient evil and it's just looking to like find all these witch bodies so it can like turn itself into like a witch army and take over or something. I'm giving this thing way too much credit. I'm sorry. Well, what was it? Isadora said that nobody has touched the mycelium and walked away unscathed until her. So obviously not people have touched it, but it sounds like either it took over other people or we don't know, but whatever it is, it looks like Raelle and this thing have got a symbiotic relationship at the moment. So it protected Raelle when Isadora tried to kill her. It does make me wonder though if potentially Abigail does have exposure though, because she was right in the epicenter of the blast as well. Now she didn't touch it directly, obviously, but I don't know. We're still understanding how this whole thing works, but I think it's cool. I think it's definitely a cool supernatural element we're adding to this. And depending on where they take it, it could be a really fun side plot that might eventually become a main plot for the show. So yeah, still very disturbed by this whole Tally Alder connection, but in a way now I'm kind of seeing, I think, where the writers are going with it. Like I find it a bit creepy when you've got someone who's in a position of authority like Alder and Tally who's like just barely 18 years old. Like it's just, there's just dynamics there that are not, in my opinion, very favorable. However, I'm starting to think that, like I said, I don't know if it's a two-way link, but I'm getting the sense that it's not. I think this is all Tally. I think because Tally is an empath and a very strong one at that, her connection with Alder, like Alder wasn't prepared, right? Alder had no idea that Tally would be able to like put hooks in to her psyche the way that she did. And so this is good though, because I think once again, I was saying that I thought maybe Alder had done it so that she could keep an eye on Raelle and everybody else, but maybe it's the other way around. Like Tally's inadvertently going to be able to see all those deep secrets that Alder's trying to keep hidden, but potentially why. I'm hoping that we're going to see more to why Alder's become the way that she is, but Tally still seems to be very much of the mind that Alder is a good person, and I don't think that Alder's all evil, don't get me wrong. I do think she does care a lot about the witches and witch kind and her service to humanity, But I also think that she might be very, very good at projecting the emotions she wants to project to her biddies. I'm thinking that Tally is going to be the one who's going to crack past the veneer that she's putting out to the biddies typically and actually see what's going on with the real Alder. And that part of it is that I think that Alder's always been a bit jealous of and potentially scared of any magic that she can't do herself or control. I feel like just like with little, what's her name, Kalita does not trust Alder. She sees through all the BS. Listen, kids have got a radar for BS like you wouldn't believe. And this girl saw straight through Alder and was like, no, I don't trust you. I don't want to stay here. I don't trust the way you're doing things. I need to get up out of your presence. Alder doesn't like the fact that, first of all, she couldn't learn the song that the girl tried to teach her, and the fact that this girl ain't falling for none of her nonsense. So I feel like Tally's going to end up being the doorway into seeing the real Alder, and that we're going to see a really quite ugly side that's there. And again, I don't think it means that Alder's completely a villain here. No good villain is completely a villain. But the fact that in this episode we had the president's daughter make that line about, she's like, my dad says there's no way a woman can be alive that long and still really care about regular people. I think that's absolutely the case. Like, Alder has proven time and again that she's willing to sacrifice lives to do whatever it is she thinks is right. And she's the only one who gets to decide that. That arrogance, that hubris, that lack of being in touch with people, that's a problem. That is a real problem. I don't think she even sees that. And of course, she doesn't allow herself to be questioned. So it's going to be interesting as we start to peel back the layers of this non-canon magic. And I think that, again, as I said in the episode, what does that mean? Non-canon magic. Is it non-canon because who decided? Who's the authority? Who gets to decide what's good magic and usable magic by the college and what's too dangerous? Is it Alder? Yeah, probably. I'm getting the sense that overall Tally and Raelle, and I'm hoping to Abigail. I hate the fact, like, we're going to get to Abigail feeling a bit out of sorts this episode in a minute, but I think these three are possibly like huge manifestations of uncanon magic that's off the rails. And this is why they're so powerful, but this is also why inevitably I feel that Alder is going to be very afraid of them and try to snuff them out as soon as possible. I think this is all leading down the road to the fact that our trio is going to be the mold breakers, who are going to have to usher in a new way, because honestly, this isn't working anymore. But yeah, as I mentioned, the other thing was, of course, my poor girl, Abigail. This whole time she really thought that it was a thing between her and her and Raelle that created the explosion. She discovered that no, it was most likely all Raelle. It might have been potentially amplified by Abby because they were holding hands when that explosion went off, and it was huge. And if you look at what happened there compared to what happened inside of that chamber, Isadora's torture chamber, I do think that Abby did have an effect on it, but it's not what she thought. You know what I mean? Like, I think she genuinely thought, this is something that me and Raelle can do together. Like, I'm going to be able to do something that is going to change the course of witchhood and military, and to find out that nope, it's about the golden girl Raelle, right? It's a bit of a punch to the ego, right? It's a little bit of a punch to the gut for her, especially since she was the one who wanted to work so hard on making it happen again. So I think between that and then not knowing if Adil, the first guy that she's ever truly like connected with, and I'm not going to say she's in love yet, but she definitely cares way more about him than any of her other male suitors she's ever been with. So the idea that he might leave her is obviously weighing her on her mind as well, because she's not the kind of girl who's going to beg him to stay, so to speak, even though that's exactly what she wants to do. Like I said in the episode, it's not really fair for Abigail to ask him to stay and choose to be with her when, if the tables were turned and he said, I want you to drop the military life and follow me and, my family doing whatever the heck we're going to do. Like, she would never do that, right? She bleeds the army at the moment. And for him, his people are extremely important and they need him. So we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I don't think they're going to break them up per se. I feel like they've put a lot into their relationship, and I think it's cute. I think it'd be nice if they kept it. But another reason, just another tick on the box of why they need to usher in a new era where Alder's strict, useless rules no longer need to apply as far as who you can be with and where you can be with them and how it's all done, because so much of that is built in traditions that no longer make sense for the people who are here now. So I really enjoyed this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching along with me, and if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button, and we will see you in the next episode.